Hello, welcome back to the HKBU Phonology Lab channel. In the last episode, we talked about how to revise a sample paradigm experiment. In this episode, we will show how to build up a paradigm experiment from scratch. We will work on a grammaticality judgment experiment, in which a participant judges if a sentence is grammatical or not. Before setting up an experiment in paradigm, let's think of the flow of the experiment. First, we want a screen to show the introduction. Then, we want a screen to show a sentence. After this, we want a participant to judge if the sentence is grammatical or not. After a judgment is made, we want the next sentence to appear. After all the trials are completed, we want a goodbye screen to end the experiment. Altogether, we need 4 events, all including text. For each event, we need to consider some settings, the elements to include in the event, the duration of the event, and the responses allowed, if any. For the participants' responses, they may need to press some button to start the task after reading the introduction. They need to click on yes or no to make a decision. To create an experiment, we open the software paradigm. Close this. Go to Experiment, New Experiment. In the pop-up window, we can specify the name of the new experiment, say grammar. We can also specify its location, say on the desktop. Click Create. For this experiment, we need 4 text events. In Paradigm, the design view, we see different types of events. If we need a text event, we select and drag it to the flow at the bottom of the window. We need 4 text events, so we drag 3 others here. Referring to our experiment design, let's name the 4 events respectively as introduction, sentence, judgment, and goodbye. We have a loop including sentence and judgment. So in Paradigm, we need a block, and we need to put the 2 events into the block. In the first event, introduction, let's enter some text here. For the introduction, we can specify the duration. Under General Properties, here 1000 means 1000 milliseconds or 1 second. If we want the introduction to last for 2 seconds, we can change this into 2000. Alternatively, we can let a participant press some button to end the introduction and start the task. If we want a participant to give a response, say pressing the spacebar on the keyboard, we can go to Response Devices, select Keyboard, and drag it to the space under Responses. In the pop-up window, we can specify the allowable responses as space, which means spacebar, and click on Done. To make this clear to the participants, in the introduction event, we can add a sentence to the text element. say, press the space bar to start. In the second event sentence, we have a text element. We will use it to show the stimulus sentences. To make things clear, let's name this text element stimulus sentence. We can also drag here to change the size of the text element. If we want the stimulus sentences to appear in this text element, we go to Trial Table View and create a table. In this trial table, if we want more rows, we can click here to add rows. Suppose we have 4 stimulus sentences. We need to add 3 more rows. Similarly, if we want to add a column, we can click here to add a new column. For each column, we can drag here to change its width, and we can double-click here to change its name. If we want the test sentences to be in column 1, we can name it as test sentence. Click OK. If we have prepared the sentences in an Excel, we can copy them from Excel and paste them into the trial table. Now, there is an important step to take. We need to connect this column, whose name is test sentence, with this text element, whose name is stimulus sentence. We can do this in the trial table view. In this panel, we see stimulus sentence, which is the name of the text element. For this text element, we want its text to be these sentences, one in the trial. To make the connection, we select text here and drag it to this column, and then release it. A connection has been made. Back to the event sentence, we can also specify how long we want a sentence to appear on the screen. To do this, we can change duration under General Properties. If we want a sentence to appear for 2 seconds, we can change this into 2. In the next event judgment, we want a participant to decide if a sentence is grammatical or not. In Paradigm, we may need 3 text elements in this event. We can use this as the first one. Enter some text like, is the sentence grammatical? Make it smaller to leave some space. We need 2 other text elements for the 2 options, yes and no. To add a text element, we click here. A new text element appears here. We can drag it to change its position, and click here to enter text, such as yes. We can add another text element and drag it here, enter no. To make things clearer to ourselves, we can name this text element as option 1, yes, and name this text element as option 2, no. We want a participant to click on here or here to give a judgment. To do that, we will be using mouse as a response device. Under Response Devices, let's select mouse and drag it to this space under Responses. In the pop-up window, let's check left button to make it an allowable response. And remember to check here, detect mouse pointer selection or touch response. This will enable Paradigm to record where a participant clicked the mouse on this text element or the other. Click Done to save the setting. For each stimulus sentence, we can specify the correct response in Paradigm. To do this, we go to the trial table view, and we can name this column as Correct Answer. Click OK. By correct answer, we are looking at mouse clicking. So we need to make a connection between mouse correct responses and this column. The first stimulus sentence is ungrammatical. In the design view, the correct response will be clicking on this text element, whose name is option 2 no. Back to the trial table. For the first stimulus sentence, the correct answer should be option 2 no. That is the name of the text element. The second stimulus sentence is grammatical. Back to the design view. The correct response should be the name of this text element. Option 1, yes. In the trial table, we can specify the correct answer for this item as option 1, yes. And we can do this for the other trials. We can also change the setting here to make the different trials appear sequentially or in randomized order. In the last event, goodbye, we changed the text and save the experiment. Let's have a test run of the experiment. Click on here, run this experiment. Let's save and view the results. Paradigm has logged my responses, the response time for each one, and whether the response is correct or not. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel. Bye.